Good morning, everybody, and a happy Friday morning to you. Oh my, oh my, oh my. The stories just continue. First of all, we have a lot of royal family news again, especially Princess Anne. That woman is a demon. She just works so hard. Then, of course, we have some Invictus news, we have some Netflix news, and we have some more court case news to clarify for everybody. So let's jump in and cover, shall we? Let's go. I'm starting off with this update from Aston Villa. They said that Prince William offered to buy any Villa fan a drink in a specific hotel. Here's the sign so you can take a look at it. It says if you can make happy hour at the hotel from 4 to 6. Oh, God, I love William. All right, moving on. Next up, these are the kind of pictures that really make me happy. Catherine, the Princess of Wales, was spotted out and about shopping, just doing her thing. She didn't have 50 security guards around her. She didn't call the paps. You can tell this is like a person who just happened to see her and go, "Ooh, wait, let me grab a picture." I love her. I hope she's feeling well. A big thank you to Remoulade Sauce for showing us what she was wearing. Let's move on. All right, going back to Prince William, for those of you who don't know, right after he finished his Aston Villa game, he appeared in Monaco, of all places. Now, we know when he was at the Aston Villa game, he was with his friend, how do you say it? Thomas von Strabensee, I think is how he says it. He's godfather to one of his daughters, and Mr. Strabensee is the godfather to Charlotte. I'm not exactly sure what he was doing in Monaco. I'm going to keep an eye on this story. Let's move on. On January 22nd, Queen Camilla held a special reception at Clarence House. It was for the British equestrian teams in the Paris Olympics and the Paralympics to celebrate their success. Camilla, in case you're unaware, is patron of the British Equestrian Federation. She looked absolutely gorgeous. During the reception, Camilla met with equestrian athletes, including the team gold medalist Rosalind Carter and Paralympian Natasha Baker, OBE, Sophie Wells, OBE, Georgia Wilson, and Mary Derwark Ackhurst. Whew. We know that Camilla herself is a big horse lover, and she said it makes us very proud for you to be British. This event was also for the teams behind the teams, you know what I mean? So you had the reserve athletes, grooms, owners, vets, the coaches, they were all there, all of them. I just love that. Now, before this reception, the Queen held a private audience with two people who were Foundation chief executives. And then Camilla received a book of pictures of the equestrian team at the Paris Games that were taken. You should know that they won I think it was 14 medals. Good for them. Let's move on. Let's move on now to Princess Anne. So on this first part of the day, she viewed a new Labour Corps memorial at the Commonwealth War Graves Commission in Cape Town, South Africa. This is apparently the very first memorial on the continent of Africa honoring those who served in the First World War in non-combat roles. So Princess Anne was there for the unveiling of this new memorial. When Princess Anne first arrived, she met the people that were involved in the planning of this memorial. Then, of course, she was shown the memorial and, what each part meant. This memorial consists of a field of engraved African hardwood posts, and each marker represents a fallen laborer, and it's inscribed with a name, service number, and date of death. Of course, at the ceremony, Princess Anne laid a beautiful wreath. Then she gave a speech acknowledging the enduring legacy of these people and that their sacrifice had gone unrecognized for far too long, which I happen to agree. She also said the deliberate design of the new memorial offers visitors the space to contemplate the scale of loss, which I agree. And I love her outfit, by the way, which she still had on when she went to her next event. She went to visit the Desmond and Leah Tutu Legacy Foundation, also located in Cape Town. She viewed an early childhood exhibition which had the spitting image puppet of Desmond Tutu, which I find that very interesting. Princess Anne was guided around the area by the CEO of the foundation, Janet Johnson, and chair of the Archbishop Tutu Intellectual Property Trust, Dr. Rampheel. Looks like she had an amazing time. She obviously went home and changed clothes, and then she went out for the afternoon. Princess Anne then went to visit the South African Astronomical Society, SAAO, also in Cape Town. One of the cooler things I feel like she got to do was look at the Meghan telescope. This telescope was actually built in 1897. Besides seeing the telescope, I'm really hoping she got to look through the telescope, you know what I mean? And then she went on to her next event. Princess Anne then went to the Royal Cape Yacht Club. She met some people there that are hoping to be chosen for the next, race. So the women Princess Anne were talking to were potential crew members. These are women hoping to be picked for the next race that sets off later this year. And we know that Anne is a keen sailor herself. Now, another stop that Princess Royal made, but I cannot tell you what the conversation was about. I've searched, I haven't been able to find it. She met with Dr. Esme Swanepoel at one of the care centers at Victoria Hospital in Cape Town. Looks like they were deep in conversation, but I couldn't tell you what about. Finally, I wanted to show these last pictures of Anne that were apparently taken the day she arrived, because she's wearing the same outfit that she was wearing when she got off the plane. She just looks so lovely. These pictures just came to light and I wanted to share them. All right, let's move on. On January 16th, the Duke of Gloucester visited 66 Portland Place in London. He is the patron, and he's been the patron since the spring of 2024 after Buckingham Palace's review of royal patronages, after, of course, the king ascended to the throne. I love him. All right, let's move on to Harry now. Harry, all the articles are saying, accepted substantial damages and a full apology from the Sun newspaper. Now, this is the interesting part. It is understood, and it's in the article, that Harry's payout, the $10 million, has to be split between Harry and the other defendant, or the other person that was suing. The two of them have to split that. And there is a question about the attorney's fees, because the article reads that they had to pay out the $10 million and legal fees, but I believe those legal fees are their own. They're not paying Harry's. It says the BBC understands the settlement to Harry and former Labour Deputy Leader Tom Watson have cost them $10 million. So apparently it appears that they have to split that, plus they have to pay their attorney's fees, which basically means they're walking away with like nothing. Could you imagine? That's just amazing. Now, even Neil Sean said that, yes, Harry's getting a six-figure sum in principle, but then he has to pay his attorneys and the money will be greatly diminished. Now, according to him, the PR spin is going to be that Harry settled. They might even do a full spread interview. Harry settled because Invictus was coming up, and also the battering of his poor wife, Meghan. The other side of the coin, again, according to Neil Sean, is that they had a weak case. And if Harry pushed it forward into court, as I've told you before, and he got less money than what was offered, he'd be on the hook to pay both attorneys' fees. And it would have been like $15 million, and he just financially couldn't afford it. So here's the part that's really getting me. You saw in yesterday's video, everybody's like, oh, he saw it through. Good for him. He got an apology. He this, he that. That's not what I see. And I got this from Twitter, and it says everything that I was thinking. He also pointed out it's not going to look good if Harry continues to moan about press intrusion, because he had the chance to go to court and he chickened out due to the risk. Also, he pointed out William got his settlement and donated it to charity. Don't expect Harry to do the same. As you can see from this, Harry, who said he was not going to settle, he really didn't achieve anything more than William did, except he got hefty legal fees, which William didn't get, and egg on his face for lying, because this really wasn't about supporting other people. It was always about the money. So William got an apology. William got a settlement without having to go to court. William got the Levison inquiry started. William got the news of the world shut down. So he did all of that and donated all of the money he got to charity. As a matter of fact, unless I'm mistaken, he gave it to the Invictus Games. I doubt Harry's going to be donating anything if there's anything left. Some blind items came in also. Remember to take these with a grain of salt. My subscriber Kathy sent this one to me, pointing out that supposedly, allegedly, if Harry didn't settle, he was going to be asked a lot of questions under oath, and he actually thinks he's a martyr for being the last one standing. And then another blind item came out saying that whatever settlement was reached with Harry, both sides fudged their statements, and Harry didn't get any money for himself because he still owes money to the attorneys. Well, that's what happens. Everybody is reporting that this is literally a Pyrrhic victory for Harry. In other words, he won, but he really didn't win. And there are several facets to that. Did he win money? Yes. Did he win a lot of money? No. Not by the time it's split. The only real winner in this case is his attorney there on the right, David Sherborne, who probably has 3 vacation homes by now, because almost all of the money that was won is going to be sucked up by him. Another part of that Pyrrhic victory, Harry got an apology for his deceased mother, but he didn't get one for Meghan. And that would be because there's no proof that anybody bothered Meghan. You remember the whole, they were harassing me, but there's not one picture of anybody harassing Meghan. Here is the apology that Harry and William got 18 years ago. Okay, so this is nothing new for Harry. But what I really want to focus on now is the apology that was given to them. A big thank you to Charlie's voicemail for this, because here's what the apology basically says. 1, we apologize for the actions of the News of the World, which closed down 14 years ago. 2, we apologize for the actions carried out by private investigators working for The Sun, not our journalists, during the period of 1996 to 2011. 3, we've done nothing illegal. So what it comes down to is, you want money? We're going to give you some money. We're done. And best of luck to you after you've paid your legal expenses, because that's literally what this comes down to. One of the things that really irritates the absolute crap out of me is that Harry, who settled the case, he didn't win it, he didn't go to court, he settled, wants his attorney to go out and make these statements. The Sun, they deleted 30 million emails. How in the hell would he know that they deleted 30 million emails? But yet, he forgot to mention that he had been caught deleting evidence that would have come up in the trial. I'm telling you, this is why he settled his case. He knew if he got on that stand, they were going to rip him a new one, and he probably would not win as much as they were offering, and then he'd be on the line for both attorneys' fees for both sides, and he didn't want to take that chance. And as I said in my live the other day with the Sidleys, I think Harry didn't even bother to show up because, number 1, he knew he was going to settle, and number 2, maybe he was afraid if he left the United States, they wouldn't let him back in. Now, for those of you who are unaware, Prince William was hacked 35 times. Princess Catherine was hacked more than 150 times. Harry, 9 times. But the truth is, as usual, Harry wants you to believe that he was the biggest victim out of the whole thing. Ugh. All right, let's move on now to our next stories. Let's move on now to the Invictus Games. Apparently, they're saying that Harry did this, but I don't know that Harry's responsible. But Harry has apparently replaced the rifles with lasers in the biathlon event at the Invictus Games, and U.S. Army veterans are very unhappy. Remember, they're going to be in Vancouver, Canada from February 8th through the 16th, and this is supposed to be Harry's first time hosting the winter, games. It's being reported that the snow will interfere with the laser beams and will hinder performance because there's been some issues with the cold and some of the laser guns not working, snow obstructing some of the targets. For example, one of the guys said, listen, I shot perfectly for 5 laps, and then on lap 1, I only hit 1 target. And when we checked out the gun, there was snow covering the laser lens, and therefore it ruined my shot. So a spokesman for the Invictus Foundation claimed the change was made due to inclusivity. so it can be used by a majority of people with disability. But what good is it if you're running around, if you're training and running around and you're shooting correctly, but because you've decided to use a laser, it's not registering? They're bringing up again, in 2023, Meghan hinted that they're going to bring their children to the next event, blah, blah, blah. They're not going to bring their children. They can't. You can't whine about security and then bring the children. In the meantime, people don't want Meghan to come. They did a poll, should Meghan come to Invictus? And 95% of people who responded said absolutely not. I mean, now that we know that 20-something% of the money is going for her outfits instead of to the veterans, I agree she shouldn't go. As far as Meghan's Netflix show goes, there is a betting company. They're taking bets, and they have predicted that Netflix will air her cookery show, but it's going to be canceled after the first season. Now, of course, it'll be canceled after the first season because Netflix has absolutely no intention of renewing their contract. So if their contract's not renewed, she might try to go to another streaming service. But, I think anybody who gives them a contract at this point gets what they deserve. However, another article just came out saying that they're not going to axe, they're going to axe it, they're not going to show it at all. That the reaction to it has been so bad online with the thumbs down and the comments have been brutal that Netflix has said, you know what, we're just going to wash our hands of this and not air it. Personal opinion, they're absolutely going to air it. They've been giving Harry and Meghan $2 to $3 million a year for production costs. They taped it. They did the whole thing. They've aired it. They've pushed it back because of the wildfires, which I think is kind of a joke. And I've said this before, and I'm still saying it. People are still going to be homeless in 3 months. It's not going to make a difference. I think they will air it, but then the contract's going bye-bye. I mean, people are talking about the fact that Meghan, she got rid of going to state visits and a world platform where she really could have made a difference to trying to essentially sell Tupperware. Like, people are like, come on, this is a joke. Nobody wants to see her. She just comes off as fake. And yet, even though she ditched royalty, look at this picture above. She's totally trying to do the UK royal thing right down to the fake logo for ARO. And finally, it's being said that now that Trump is in office, that King Charles might make a U.S. tour. I think that would be lovely. Although, to be fair, I don't think that he didn't come because Biden was in office either. I think he's not coming to the United States because of his cancer treatment. But if the opportunity presents himself, I'm sure Charles would come to the United States. He loves the United States. All right, you guys, you know what I want. Put those comments down and make them good. Don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe button and the bell for all notification, that thumbs up to help me with my algorithm. Then go down into the description box where you'll find the links to my Twitter, my Gettr, my Rumble, my email, my physical address, and my Amazon wish list. For those of you who've donated to my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.